about 4 seconds ago. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your two normal hosts, myself and JD from Line Movers. But today we are super excited. We have friend of the program, Matt from Dead Prez Picks. Matt, we're super excited to have you on. How are you today, my friend?
Boys. Yeah, I'm doing great. Great intro, too. Did not disappoint. I was laughing the whole time. So nice.
I knew you were going to like that.
Yeah, I love it. But good to join you guys. Yeah, excited to break down some NBA games and talk about your Yankees.
Yeah, not looking forward to talk about the Yankees. More to come in that. But we have a great show today. Yesterday, I called it the cornucopia of sports. JD yelled at me. He kept telling me it was the equinox of sports. I didn't care. I called it the cornucopia. Maybe that's why it went so poorly for me. But New York yesterday took a beating in every single sport. JD, over to you before we break down how yesterday went. How are you today?
Good, man. Yeah, as far as yesterday goes, that was not the actual best night for us. I believe that our Steelers pick, I had the Steelers. I had their team total over. I was kind of mad because I actually, yesterday on the show, I said that should have been like a massive play. Just actually because I had that line, it just didn't make sense. And it did easily hit, but, we actually know that now. Of course, didn't know that then, but yeah.
Absolutely. So let's get into, we kind of dipped around it a little bit, but let's go into the Monday recap and go over what happened on Monday. So outside the football game, it was a good game. Basketball was a crazy night last night with the Orlando Magic game. We broke down that game. That was an unbelievable first half by Paolo Banchero. He went off, but the second half he did kind of slow down a bit. So unfortunately, we weren't able to cash that, but the NBA is still new. We're still collecting data on it, and we will get it right going forward. The Pacers, man, they played like crap in the first half, but that second half they came out like a bat out of hell. They were able to put it to them and were able to come back in that game. That was the biggest standout in the NBA world for me, at least. In the football world, that punt return was really disappointing for the Giants yesterday. I was on the under in that game, under the 36.5. We were trending beautifully for the duration of the game up until that, but as soon as we got that 73-yard punt return, I knew that game was going to be going over. Ded, how was your day yesterday? Any games stick out to you?
Yeah, it was. I was on the Steelers, and honestly, I really didn't think they were going to cover because it just felt like that, low-scoring game that was going to favor the underdog. But to your point, yeah, that punt return opened it up a little bit. They had some chances there at the end, and then the fumble, when Wilson fumbled, it felt like they were going to lose that game by 2. I thought that was
me too.
But yeah, some poor play there at the end from the Giants offense, which certainly has happened often this season. But yeah, NBA was pretty good. Hit some. Had a good prop night as well. Had the Suns late night. They came through for me. Your Yankees, though, let me down. I'm actually 0-3 betting on them this year. So I keep going back to them. Dude, tonight, I've had a great baseball season. Cannot figure out this World Series. And hopefully, I'm actually going to be back on them, as we'll probably talk about later. But tonight, but I hope they can avoid the sweep tonight.
You're telling me, brother. You're telling me. I've been monitoring prices to the World Series because, I've been contemplating going. You wouldn't pay me to go right now at 3-0, but prices last weekend were about $1,700 a ticket to be in standing room only. So you didn't even get a seat. You had to stand in the outfield for $1,700 and watch the game far as hell away from the field. Now, for tonight's game, for $500, you could be sitting in the lower bowl down the third base line. So that should tell you everything about how this series has gone. And, man, we'll get into that game in more depth when we break it down. But, fellas, we do have a beautiful 5-game slate today. We are going to be going over to the NBA to start. We're going to be breaking down all 4 NBA games, and then we are going to be diving into the MLB. So, fellas, let's not waste any time. People are starting to get in here, so let's break down the first game we have on the day, which is going to be the Mavericks and the T-Wolves. Going into this game, the Mavs are coming into this one 2-1. They're 0-1 on the road. Minnesota is 2-1 as well, but they're also 1-0 at home. Matt, we're going to start with you. What do you like in the Mavericks T-Wolves game?
Yeah, early in the year, but I actually like the T-Wolves here. I kind of think the line suggests it's more of a T-Wolves play. As you can see right now, I'm looking at the betting splits, and it's pretty heavy right now in the favor of the public being on Dallas. And you understand why, right? They're probably evenly matched teams, and you see a team getting 5 points on the line. Did open up around 3.5, so it has continued to move in Minnesota's direction, but only 28% of the bets right now on Minnesota. I think this is the sharper side in this game, so I'll probably be riding the Wolves in multiple capacities tonight. First half with the shorter number, and then taking them full game here at -5. As far as the total is concerned, no immediate read for me. I would probably lean to the over, but I'm going to stay off of that and just ride with the Wolves tonight.
Question for you. So the Mavs did play last night. They played at home versus Utah, and now they're going to have to go to Minnesota and take on the Timberwolves. Do you take that into account when you cap a game like this?
Yeah, a little bit less, I think, early in the year, to be honest, because you feel like these guys are more energized, right? I think mid-season and the back end of the season, the back-to-backs are definitely more of a factor. But, yeah, you definitely have to factor it in. I mean, as far as players sitting out, too, that's another thing that we've kind of seen become a common theme, right, in the NBA. Last minute, a couple of these big guns will get pulled out. So, it's definitely an interesting angle that you do have to look at. But I think it also plays into the line for sure tonight. In some capacity, but yeah, I think it's definitely something to probably look at more later in the season, but you should always kind of know which teams are on back-to-backs, especially teams like my Sixers who typically won't play their stars back-to-back. You kind of have to figure out,
really?
The teams they do and the teams they don't. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. I agree. And I do think it's something I am at least taking into account in this game, because I do think that the Mavs are not exactly the deepest team in the league. They do also have a couple veterans there. So I do think tired legs should take account later as this game progresses. I'm all over the T-Wolves at home at the -5. I agree with you, Dad, that the line is indicative of how they think this game is going to go. I'll let it out a little early. It is a best bet for me. I'm all over the T-Wolves. Probably my favorite NBA play of the day. JD, are we making a family three-way, or you go on the other side?
This is definitely this is actually definitely going to be an extra 2 of spot. The line definitely says that. With that being said, as far as the Mavs coming off a back-to-back last year, they were really good. As far as actually against the spread, I believe that they were actually the actual number 1 team. So because of that, and it still being, this is what, their 4th game or so, I'm actually just going to stay off here. I actually don't have like a strong read. So what you're saying is sometimes the best play is no play. You know my favorite line, so I agree. Sometimes if you don't have a read, you might not want to push, especially on a small slate like today. I respect that, absolutely. Before we get on to the second game, guys, let's go over to the comments. We haven't got to touch up on those yet. Logan, who's here every single day, saying, what's up, guys? We appreciate you, Logan. Joe is here as well. What's up, Joe? Let's get that money. Rent day's only a couple days away, brother. On is here. He's saying, this is why I don't take unders. Yeah, that punt return was absolutely brutal last night. Bill Norman, who's here in our YouTube, he's here every day saying, what's up, guys? It's been a little late. Bill, you're usually the first comment here, so not seeing you at the top of the list is a little odd, but we appreciate you tuning in as always. And unfortunately, I do have to put this comment up. You may have seen me laugh a minute ago. Nick, you always have me laughing in here. I said it at the start of the show. The cornucopia of sports was not kind to the New York area last night. All New York teams absolutely took a beating, and I will accept the virtual hug. Joe, we do see a question about P.J. Washington today. That's actually in this game. So anybody have any insight on P.J. Washington under 5.5 rebounds? He had 11 yesterday, but it is a back-to-back. Minnesota does have Gobert and some bigs. We'll start with Dad. What do you think?
Yeah, don't necessarily have a read on exactly on this play. He had 11 yesterday. Yeah, it is interesting when you kind of see that, right? A guy's a big rebound game, and then the prop hangs much lower. So I'd be cautious with it. Just don't automatically bet it because he had 11 yesterday. So probably a no play for me also there. But if I had to read one, I'd maybe actually lean to the under here.
I would as well. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's a duck. If they're throwing out a 5.5 line and he just had 11, there's a reason for that. It's a completely different matchup today. He's going to be going up against taller people in the Minnesota lineup who are better at rebounding than what he faced last night. JD, do you agree with us? What do you think?
Yeah, just looking at the line here, it actually looks like the under's very juiced. So as far as value, I actually really don't see any there. But I would definitely have to lean that.
Absolutely. And guys, drop your comments in the chat. We are monitoring every single comment. We're going to try and answer every single comment as always. You guys know We're here for you. We want to help everybody win, and anything you guys want more information on, we are here to break it down. One final comment before we move on to the second game we break it down is Logan. We had to put this up here because he's shouting out our guy, Dead Prez. Dead, it's almost like you have a pretty big fan club out there. We appreciate Logan, and we appreciate Dead for making the time and getting on here to talk with us. Fellas, let's jump into the second game we have on the slate, which is going to be the Nuggets taking on the Brooklyn Nets. To me, this is the fishiest line of the slate. Currently, you can get it at a 4.5. The Nuggets are coming in 1-2. They've struggled a bit this year, but they're taking on a Brooklyn Nets team that, to me, I don't think has a ton of talent on their roster. They're 1-2 in the year, but they are 1-0 at home. Dad, we'll go over to you again. What do you think about this matchup? We're seeing the Nets are coming in here pretty banged up. They have no Bojan Bogdanovic. They have no Ben Simmons. Day'Ron Sharpe is out, and Trendon Walford is out. The only player out for the Nuggets is Day'Ron Holmes, which is a little confusing there. A couple Dayrons out today. But what do you think about this matchup? What do you think about the 4-point line?
Yeah, it's definitely a fishy line, right? I mean, when you see the Nuggets only a 4.5 point favorite, definitely something's up. Again, a back-to-back last night that actually required overtime against the Raptors, which is not the best look, but they did end up finding a way. They haven't looked great. Obviously, it's a 3-game sample size, so not going to put too much stock into that. But this was a team that was really good last year on back-to-backs, 9-4 straight up. So they did have strong numbers last season. You mentioned some injuries there for the Nets. So honestly, as square as it is, if I had to bet this one, I probably would just say Denver. But based on the line, it's definitely a play that if I do play it, I'm not going to go too big on because the line is definitely suggesting the Nets. But I just don't see how Denver doesn't get it going tonight.
Yep. So I'm going to take the same play that JD took in the last game, which is put it up again. Sometimes the best play is no play. This one stinks. This line stinks. It screams the Brooklyn Nets, but I just don't have it in me to back them yet. They have to show me something. Living in this area, I get to watch this team on my local cable provider quite frequently. And over the last couple of years, there's no reason that has given me to back this Nets team against a Denver team that's consistently successful. No bet from me. JD, any action from you?
Yeah, just like you said there, this line, it is a Nets line. Just like you said, I am not backing them right now, though. I just cannot do that. For me, as far as a prop in this game, I haven't actually played it yet. But as far as the Michael Porter Jr. over points, I believe you can get a 14.5. And his volume is definitely there. He actually just hasn't been hitting it yet. So this could be a game where it's actually a good buy low spot there. So
I like that play too. Jay, I actually put that out for I don't know if you guys ever play pick six on DraftKings, but I one of my pick six article picks today. That was my top one. So that was a good call out. So yeah, his minutes have been there. I think he's played 75 minutes the last 2 games. He just hasn't shot well. So that's definitely a good look.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure. Let's keep it moving, fellas. Before we keep it moving, I'm going to put out there again. I'm going to do it after every game. If you guys have any questions about props in this game, let us know. We all know that the NBA is a massive prop betting sport. So if you have any questions about props or any other games, just put them in there. But let's keep it moving, fellas. Next game we have on the slate is going to be the Kings taking on the Jazz. The Kings are coming in 1-2. They're 0-1 on the road, taking on a Utah Jazz team that is a bagel record. They are 0-3 in general, and they're 0-2 at home. They have yet to win a ball game. Over to the injury report. Bad news for Taylor Hendricks, one of the best players for the Utah Jazz. I believe he fractured his fibula yesterday. He will be out for the year. It was quite a gruesome injury to see, so he will not be there. The rest of the team, they still have no Drew Eubanks. He's going to be a game-time decision, but I'm hearing he's probably not going to be able to go. And then they have a couple guards that are true questionables in Isaiah Collier and Johnny Juzang. On the other side, the Kings are a true questionable with Orlando Robinson, who's one of their backup centers, and Devin Carter is going to be out, who is one of their backup guards. So not too many injuries on the Kings front. JD, we're going to start with you. What do you like in the Sacramento Kings-Utah Jazz game?
Yeah, just to start off with, I do have to say that I actually these actually teams that have been playing very fast. And actually, as far as the total tonight is definitely high. I will have to say the Kings, I don't think want to play at quite actually this pace. They actually do want to play fast, but they've been playing really fast. So as far as the total, I would definitely have to lean under here. The Jazz, though, they've just been giving up points. So this is a game where I just can't actually bet it. I just can't get there. But if I would have to bet it, then I would have to lean the under. There is a prop, though, in this game, and that's the Keegan Murray actually over threes. Versus the Jazz, he just turns into the best 3-point shooter ever. His actually last few games versus the Jazz, he's hit 5, 4, 12, 6, 6. Like, dude just hits threes actually, and it's actually really nuts. And you can actually get the line currently at actually over 2.5 threes at plus 114. And that's because I think as actually as far as the season goes, he's been hitting some, but he just is not quite there yet. And I just think this is a great actually buy low spot here.
I respect that. I like it.
I would probably even sprinkle actually like 4 and 5 actually threes made. You can probably get 5 threes in probably the plus 500 to plus like 600 mark. So
we have a little ladder action from JD today. We're laddering the threes. I absolutely love that. If you're going to go for it, you might as well go for it. And I definitely think he does have a chance tonight to do that. I'll quickly go here, guys. I'm going to be taking the Jazz with the points. This is a true back-to-back. And the Kings did not look great last night against the Blazers. They pushed on the cover at a 13. But I do think that they will be a little more tired in this one. They will be a little more fatigued, which will lead this to be a close game. I don't think the Jazz win this game by any means, but I think that the Kings win this in the 3 to 4 point range. That's exactly what we're playing. Dead, any picks from you? Then we'll go over to the chat.
Yeah, I like the Jazz too. I'm going to be with you on this one. I think, you made a good point about the Kings here on a back-to-back. But neither of these teams are particularly good on defense. Last year, Sacramento was 18th in points allowed per game. Early in the season here, they've allowed a little north of 115 a game. So I do see a lot of points in this game, but I actually think that pace will favor the underdog here with +7. So I think it'll be a fast-paced, back-and-forth kind of game that'll eventually favor Utah. And Utah, they do have some injuries there. You mentioned Hendricks, but they still have Markin in the lineup, still have Sexton in the lineup. They still have their top guys. So I still think that they can compete here. Everyone's going to see the 0-3 record, probably run away from them, but I think they potentially win this tonight.
Yeah, I think at least they'll keep it close. They could still win it. I think the public is going to be absolutely hammering the Kings in this spot. Yes. So if you're a fade the public kind of person, this may be the game for you. Over to the comments before we move into the next game. We have Freeze in the comments. Freeze, we appreciate you stopping in, brother. He's saying Kings, Jazz over. We kind of alluded to that. We do think there will be some points here. Footy Chancellor is here posting his normal Footy Chancellor bullshit. He's parlaying everything with Penn State. Good for you, Footy. Going to be honest, I just did a video play on that game, and I gave out Penn State, so I'll let you know I'm with you. Penn State plus 3.5. I don't think you win, but you at least keep it within a field goal. Let's keep it moving, fellas, to the next game we have on the slate, which is going to be the Pelicans taking on the Steph Curry-less Warriors. Kind of alluded to the story of this game already. Pelicans are coming in 2-1. They're 1-1 on the road, taking on the Warriors, who are 2-1, 0-1 at home. But as I said, Steph Curry is going to be out in this game. Andrew Wiggins is a true game-time decision as well. On the other side, we all know Dejounte Murray is going to be out, and Trey Murphy, who just got a big contract, is also out in this game. So there are some pretty big injuries. Ded, we're going to start with you. What do you like?
Yeah, I would lean actually to the Pels in this game. I know a lot of people are going to be with Curry out of the lineup, I actually don't know which way this game's going to go. So when I'm looking at the splits right now, I'm looking at 55% of the bets on Golden State, 53% of the money on the Pels. And then the money line bets, I'm seeing about a 50-50, 52% right now in favor of the Warriors. So I don't know if there's really going to be a particularly sharp side on this game. But I do think that the Pels, I personally would lean to the Pels in this one. But this is the perfect for me, the no bet. I'm going to look more into props in this game. I just think the side is a true coin flip in this spot. With some stars out potentially for the Warriors, we know Steph will be out, but also with the potential absence of Wiggins, I think there's going to be some attractive props in this game where you can ladder up a guy right at plus 500, plus 1,000 and get some value. So we'll see, who's going to step up and score for the Warriors tonight. And this will be more of a prop game for me personally.
All right, Dad, if it's a prop game, I got a question for you then. Buddy, I see FanDuel now allows you to ladder all the way up to 8 3-pointers for an SGP. That's new for them this year, and I'm a huge fan of that. You get Buddy Hield at some pretty crazy odds the more and more you go up the board. Without Steph Curry, potentially without Wiggins, is maybe one of those guys you're targeting, Buddy Hield, the guy who can shoot lights out, who can hit 8 threes in literally a quarter and then miss for the rest of the game. He is such a streaky shooter. Is he somebody you would target in this type of game?
For sure. Yeah. This is kind of what I'm saying. Like, target one of these kind of guys and, ladder them all the way up because someone's going to have to win the ball. So, and it's not going to be Draymond. It's probably not going to be Trey Jackson Davis. Like, it's probably going to be one of these guards that steps up and does it. So I would lean that way. I think Kuminga could have a big night. His props at 20.5 right now. But he's probably going to be the guy carrying most of the weight, putting on most of the shots. So we'll see. But like I said, it's going to be someone that's going to come out with a 25, 30-point game that we don't really expect.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And Spencer from KO Locks is here commenting on this game. He says it's interesting to see what the Warriors do without Curry. He may look into some Jonathan Kuminga props. That's exactly what Dad just said. So you guys are in a line. Shout out to KO Locks. We appreciate you here as always, and we'll have to get you back on the show again soon because you gave out a killer card last time you were here. I'll speak about this game next, gentlemen. I am going to be on the Pelicans on the money line. I do think they will get this one done. I do think by the end and this game starts, there will be more people on the Warriors, which doesn't make too much sense to me, but with how this line is, Pelicans on the money line at a minus 120 should be able to get it done. I just don't think the Warriors will score enough points on enough possessions to keep up with the Pelicans in this type of matchup without Steph Curry, and especially if Wiggins goes, it'll be a hobbled Wiggins. This Pelicans team can score. I think they're going to put points in the basket. JD, what do you got?
Yeah, really, actually, just like Matt said, I really think this is actually like a coin flip game. Side, total, this is actually like a wait and see game here for actually me, but it is a good prop game. And I believe Joe in the comments brought up a really good point here. As actually like as far as rebounds go, I like the Brandon Ingram over touch tonight. The line is set at 5.5. You can get that over. You're gonna pay a little juice. Looks like it's around minus 135. But actually, so far this season, he's had 7, 8, 8. And then actually tonight against the Sexual Warriors team, they actually should play like fast still, and they actually are like gonna be actually small. So this is actually probably my favorite play. This line to me just like really doesn't make sense. So.
All right, so there we go. We have the picks on all the NBA games, guys, and you know what time it is. It's time to go to the World Series Game 4. Guys, guys, I can't watch this anymore. I just can't. It's been unbelievable watching this Yankees team go up to the plate, miss fastballs down the middle. Their pitching's been fine. Their pitching's been doing the job, but the bats have been absolutely atrocious. Aaron Judge, who the hell is this guy who's playing in your jersey? Because it's not the same guy I've seen for the last couple years in New York. Dad, you alluded earlier that you were 0-3 back in the Yankees in this postseason, in this World Series. I'm 0-2 in back in the Yankees in this World Series. What do you like? Are we taking the Yankees tonight? Are we finally going to win a freaking World Series game?
Fourth time's the charm. I think we get back one more time. I mean, I can't figure the series out, honestly. I think, game one, everyone knows what happened. They probably win that game 9 times out of 10, blew that late. But then the last 2 games, they just kind of looked lifeless, honestly, offensively. Like, I don't know what's going on with their approach. You've seen Aaron Judge talking about him. His chase rate's like doubled here in the postseason, just kind of swinging or whatever. That was one of the big reasons, obviously, for his success this season. So he's been really struggling swinging the bat, and that's going to be, pretty detrimental to their team, no matter how good the rest of the lineup hits. He's the guy who makes them go. So when he's batting 140, they're not going to win a lot of games. So that's been a killer. For sure. Giancarlo Stanton looked like you rounded the bases alpha last night. I don't know what he was doing. He was walking home. It was a rough watch. I'll say that. But maybe that late homer from Verdugo gives him some life, right? Offensively, I don't know.
First of all, I am sorry to cut you off. Did you see him pimp it down 4-0? He pimped it with 2 outs of the 9th down 4. What are you doing? Just get around the bases.
Can't pimp that. No, that's got to be a Barry Sanders. Give the ball to the ref. Yeah, that's rough. That's just kind of adding insult to injury there. But I don't know. I think that they get it done. I trust it. Anytime I bet this season on the Yankees with Luis on the mound, it seems like it's going pretty good for me. I'm guessing the Dodgers are just going with the bullpen game, right? They haven't announced the starter.
Yeah, they are. No,
that's the game plan. And obviously they have a good bullpen, but it should still be advantage Yankees. They have to just play this game desperate tonight. Just force a game 5. I was so excited for the series. I thought we were going to see a classic 6-7 game series, and they're getting run out of town. So just give us one more day of baseball. And I'm sure as a Yankees fan, this has been pretty brutal to watch.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it, especially the bottom 10th collapse in game 1. That was fantastic. Over the comments quickly. Hot Toddy is here saying, how big of a factor do we think game 1 had in the series? It was everything. I said it after game 1. I thought we were dead. We were going to come out soft the next game, which we did. So I think that game 1 meant everything, and I think that Aaron Boone has done an absolutely atrocious job managing this ball club. What do you guys think I'm on? Let's take a wild guess. Oh, let's not. I'm obviously on the Yankees. We're not getting swept. We're winning at least one game. Luis Gil's on the bump tonight. I'm a big Luis Gil fan, and he should be able to get it done. I'm actually pissed at the rotation that Aaron Booney has used. I don't think we should have waited until game 4 to use Luis Gil, but that is what we are doing. They're going to get it done tonight. They need to win this game. I'm either going to go 0-3 betting this team in the World Series or 1-2 after today, but I do think they have to get it done. If they lose this game, this will be the biggest choke job in the history of baseball. It just will. Aaron Judge has been statistically the worst baseball player ever for somebody who's been as talented as he has been. And I saw a stat last night that was just so brutal to reflect how Aaron Judge has done in this World Series. So Aaron Judge's batting average in 2024 postseason, the entire postseason, is $140, 140. Lou Gehrig in 1939, when he had ALS, he literally had Lou Gehrig's disease / ALS. He was not diagnosed yet. He batted 143. It's unbelievable.
It's to watch. It's been kind of stunning. Just watching. He's only plus 215 to hit a home run tonight, which is still crazy. Every game the odds are. I mean, he's due for one though, right? So maybe he gets it going. I don't know. I hope they can win this game tonight, right? And then you get another home game tomorrow. Is it? Did they play? If they win, would it be tomorrow?
Yeah. I believe it is tomorrow. Let me double check real quick.
It's 4-6, and then the Dodgers can win. But I just want a 6 game at least.
It is consecutive days. It will be today, and then it would be tomorrow. Get it back to LA. Show some damn heart and get it back to LA. And Diamond Dog in the comments, fire me up. Feed him the Yankees money line. Let's get it. JD, please tell me you're on the Yankees. I can't deal with you being on the Dodgers.
Man, the Yankees team, just like you said, man, the bats are killing me. The amount of fastballs right down the middle of the plate in hitter counts that they are missing, either just straight whiffing on or either not getting the bat off their shoulder. Like, it is wild.
So bad.
I believe it was the 6th inning. I think it was Jazz up, and it was a 2-0 count. And he got, the most perfect pitch. And he just fouled it actually off his foot.
Yep.
So it's just we've just been seeing that. And yeah, actually just somebody had actually brought up, game actually won changed literally everything. That was so big. And last night I really thought the Yankees were actually going to do something there, and they just didn't. So it is really hard for me to back them. Then on the other side, this is the Dodgers bullpen game. If y'all have been around the show for any amount of time, I talk a lot of shit about this Dodgers bullpen. So there's no way that I can back them on what could be the last game of the MLB season. I just can't come in here and actually back them now. There's only one part of this game that I do trust, and that is the Dodgers bats. Dodgers bats continue to show up. I actually don't have a play on this game yet. If I do get on it, it will be a Dodgers team total over in some type of way. I think you can get a first 5 team total at 1.5. You can get their full game at actually 3.5. So if I am on something, it's actually going to be that. But most likely, I'm probably just going to lay off.
I understand it. I'm not going to go put the graphic up again. I'm not going to make the people look at sometimes the best play is no play on a game. But I hear you. This has been the most unpredictable series ever. Nothing you think that would happen has happened, except for the Dodgers winning every single game. If that's the only thing you thought would happen, then you've been spot on. And Connor Stone, the Yankees do suck. I agree with you. There's no other way to put it. Fellas, before we go into best bets, quickly, we do have to go over the current promotion that we have with MoneyBall Metrics. Guys, MoneyBall Metrics right now for your first month only. You can get in for just $20. Today is the last day for the deal. Make sure you DM the MoneyBall Metrics account on X, on Twitter, on Bluebird, whatever the hell you call the app you know that we are all on. Make sure you shoot them a DM. Get in the Discord. It's the best community in the world. You're not going to want to not be in that Discord for any longer than you've been out of it. Fellas, it's about that time to get into our best bets. Today's best bets. I guess I will start with today's best bet. So I'm going to be going with the Pelicans money line. I do think the Pelicans are going to be able to get it done. They are my second favorite NBA play, and my first favorite NBA play is going to be the T-Wolves -5. So my two best bets are going to be 2 NBA plays. We went over the breakdowns earlier, but yet again, the T-Wolves -5 and the Pelicans money line are my favorite two. And it's not going to be on the sheet, so the producer's going to yell at me, but throw the Yankees on there. Fuck it. We're winning. I don't give a shit. Yankees are our best bet. Dead Prez, what do you got?
All right, I'll match that energy with the Yankees. We'll go Yankees money line. They owe us. I think they do force a game 5 here. Be shocked if they got swept at home. And then I'll go T-Wolves as well there at that -5 number. Also, I do like the first half at 2.5. I think that the Mavs might come out a bit sluggish there off the back-to-back. So I think the T-Wolves also in a first half spot could be good. But definitely the sharp side tonight. Expect a big-time performance at home from Minnesota.
Love it. Same best bets as me. Let's get it. Yeah. JD, what do you got? You making it a family, all the same best bets?
As everybody knows, this actually card, as you could probably very easily tell, this is actually not my favorite one. But those actually 2 props that I talked about, I actually really do like those both. Give me Keegan Murray over 2.5 threes at +114. And then in the Pelicans Warriors game, give me Brandon Ingram over 5.5 rebounds at -135.
Before I put the graphic up so you can all get your screenshots, here is the bet to avoid for the day. And that is going to be Footy's soccer play of the day. Stuttgart, whatever the hell that is, -2. So, Footy, we also how Bayern Munich did the other day after you dropped them in here. Don't give us another loser, brother. I'm just kidding. Footy is one of the sharpest soccer minds on the internet, not just on X, on the internet. So make sure you guys follow the soccer picks. Stuttgart -2. I'm not going to bet it, but I'll at least watch it so I can give you crap if they lose. So we'll see what happens in that Stuttgart game. But guys, here are going to be our best bets. Get the screenshots out. You can see what they are. I've added a third, so the producer is going to yell at me. But T-Wolves -5, Pelicans money line, and we've added the Yankees money line in there. Dead Press, T-Wolves -5, and the Yankees money line. JD giving you guys the props. He's got Keegan Murray over 2.5 threes and Brandon Ingram over 5.5 rebounds. Fellas, that's going to do it for today's show. We broke down the NBA. We broke down the World Series. Dead, we cannot thank you enough for making some time, coming on here, giving out the winners, and just the great conversations we have on the show with you. So we appreciate it. JD, anything for the people before we get out of here?
No, let's actually just keep this short and sweet. Let's fucking win.
Let's fucking win. Dead, keep smiling. You look great at it. And let's go Giants, your real favorite team. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We appreciate y'all. Peace.